Good day, viewers. It's another exciting episode of Psychologist Lounge by Diamond More Psychological Consults and Services, Ibadan. So we have another exciting topic to discuss today, and it's around another contemporary issue. As you already know, we discuss contemporary issues. It's centered around marriage. Well, it's no longer news that a lot of marriages are not working out there these days, and it's like the order of the day. So I think it's something we should discuss from a psychologist's perspective. So now, when I thought about it, I felt where could the problem be, and I felt maybe premarital counseling would go a long way in helping this problem. But then people go for premarital counseling, don't they? People do. So where is the problem? So I felt, okay, let's take from the psychologist's perspective and see what premarital counseling is like in the psychology world. So who's going to open the floor for us and talk about premarital counseling?
I am Olubimi Olukolade, and I think one of the things that is important about premarital counseling that we need to know is that it's something that is very important, or it's something that is being done before, and it's something that people still do, probably in churches, in mosques, and other religious
yes,
bodies. They do stuff like that. But when we're talking about it being done from a psychological point of view, it's totally a different ballgame. In the sense that we are going to have personality assessments, going to understand how people matches one another.
But I thought in the normal counseling they always talk about knowing your partner and the like.
Well,
so
knowing partner is actually different. Knowing is different from knowing. Knowing from the psychological point of view is like actually bringing out the picture of who you are and letting the other person, because it's possible for me as normally when people be talking about this in settings that are not psychological based, and most of the time we'll be talking about sanguine, choleric, and that's not what we are talking about. We are talking about who you are that is totally different in
which the personality assessment
actually brings forth, Now, and also one important thing that premarital counseling is going to do for us also is look at the areas of potential conflicts in the future and how to actually deal with them. So now we are looking at it that we are not saying that there is going to be a problem, but if problems will come, what am I going to do? And I think that's what makes psychological focus different from any other area.
Let me add this to what spoke. My name is Dotsun Adeyemo, and I would also like to add to what the last speaker just mentioned about trying to have a focus of psychology, have a touch of psychology to the issue of premarital counseling. We should understand that the strength of psychology is in our assessment. I usually joke around that most of us who call ourselves psychologists, the training that we have is being able to know. And also I want to paraphrase, if actually we are saying that we want to know, right? How sure are we able to say that what we want to know is actually the main thing? Are we trying to say that science is going to be so accurate in knowing?
Okay, if I get you now, what you're saying, are you saying that the assessment, the personality assessment, like he said,
is going to work out? Of course, we have a lot of contentions about that, but still, it has been found out that the assessment still works out better because it allows a total package of those who want to do the personality assessment, the premarital counseling, to have a total package about themselves. He was mentioning something about issue of conflict and how to resolve conflict, that the personality assessment can tell us that. And also it can also tell us things about issue of intimacy, how to roll around that, and many other things as well. So if we are saying that premarital counseling is about doing something before marriage, and I'm bringing the angle of how effective is this into it, yes, I would say, because that has been the contentions among people, I would say that yes, it's very, very useful for people to do. That's the angle I want to.
I would like my name is Olamide Olanu. Yeah, I would like to stress that idea he mentioned, because it helps to know the weakness, the strength. Because marriage sometimes is stress to people. I've not been married, but as I've heard,
From what we've seen,
what we
from what we
see,
are seeing,
people portray that it should be stressful. So it helps them to know what is it, how capable are you to handle things like this. Or if an issue comes up, how would you be able to handle it? How would you be able to manage it? So it helps them show it, like it predicts for them. As science says, you predict, So it makes you see things ahead of time. So you can be able to cope with anything that comes from it.
well, the truth is, I think one thing I've heard married people say is that you can never know someone completely. That is, in marriage, some things start to unravel. So I think personality test, from the little knowledge I have, it even reveals personality, you as an individual.
What you don't
More
even know
about
about
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
So you are able to now get an understanding, okay, this is who I am, and this is most likely what I would, like you said, predict. This is most likely what I would do in this kind of situation and all of that. And then your partner sees like, this is the total package. Do I want to go ahead?
I want to get exactly.
Yeah,
This is
informed.
this is what I will live with.
Will I go into it, or it's better for me to back out while there is still time for me?
Yes, sir.
And it helps us to also identify areas where we want to work on. I mean, if you see something that can be adjusted about yourself, you will be able to work on it. Or what do you think? What's your view?
My name is Okonkwo Vivian. My own view based on the psychological test is that it's very important, because it helps us as individuals to know ourselves more. Because if you don't know yourself, how do you relate with someone that you've not known from a very long time? This is a new person, this is a new life and a new school that you are planning to enter. So if you don't know yourself well, and knowing another person or understanding another person is a different issue here. So, but when you undergo this assessment test, you'll be able to understand the parts you don't know about yourself, and also the parts that you don't know about your partner. Because sometimes we do feel that our partner do hide a lot of things from us.
No, they don't. Sometimes they don't even know.
Well, I
don't
don't think that they hide. They don't even know.
That's what I'm saying. That because of the assessment will help to expose a lot of things, even the ones that you are aware of and the ones that you are not aware of.
And sometimes when people are indeed hiding, then you can have
show everything will just be on the table for us.
And then I would like to say that why is it that we don't then make it like maybe our society, because I notice people don't really embrace it.
Yeah,
people don't have an understanding about
it. I'm thinking that it's not that people don't have an understanding about it, but it's that people have moved on to something else. We lay a lot of emphasis on things that are not the important things. Many times when you see couple planning to go into marriage, what they are laying emphasis on is the wedding clothes, how the parties are going to be,
how
we're going to be on blood,
stuff like that. I'm telling you, the things that we lay emphasis, those things like blood test, genotype, and stuff like that, most of the time are things that they do in a day, and everybody moves on. We do blood tests and we move on. We just want to do it and move on. Nobody does so many other things. So for instance, I was talking to someone and I said that it's important that you even know the family history of an individual. For example, the illnesses in that family.
Which is something I think they usually do back in the day.
Yes, back in the past. And that's where I'm going also, that in our native African way of thinking, if you want to get married, the family will take up the role of finding out, like they will be like the FBI.
Exactly.
Know what are the things that happen in this family. And that's exactly what the psychological assessment is going to do for us. Now it's going to be like a soothsayer that will look into the past, into the future, and be able to help us to.
Let me quickly add also that yes, when we're talking about premarital counseling from the angle of psychologists, we are laying emphasis on the fact that we are doing assessment. We should also not forget that after the premarital counseling, marriage happens. Marriage happens. Of course, it can throw up a lot of adjustments. About we should lay emphasis on the fact that there should be continuous, checking and rechecking about. So we should not just say that I want to do premarital counseling.
Just stop.
No, it should be
there
should be this concept of mentors, you know,
Guides.
with like guides.
But actually,
It can help.
in premarital counseling,
You know?
the pathway that it goes through is that we have sessions that goes prior to the marriage. Then after the marriage,
Marriage,
then
then
there are some
continues.
sessions also that continues
Continues.
after.
So it's not that after you've done it before your marriage, you stop there. I want to lay emphasis on that for us to understand that we should continuously have that understanding that this thing needs this assessment needs to continue.
So you are saying that we should not wait when the stress or when
Not at
when
all,
there's
no.
a problem in the
No.
family before we now
Mhm.
look for assessments. Okay, that's important.
So well, the issue of marriage and everything that happens in marriage is not something we can exhaust in a day. So this is just like a part. This is something that we've identified now that can actually go a long way in helping us to mitigate the issues that happen in marriages these days. So I'm sure we've learned one or two things as usual, and this is a wrap for today. I remain your host, Oluwatomilayo Awodoyin. Thank you.